You're watching E&G Spanish. Hey everyone, it's E from E&G Spanish Tutorials. Today we're going to go over the present progressive, which is how to say you're doing something right now, right this second. The formula to make the present progressive is actually pretty easy. You will always need the verb estar plus some verb in the present participle form, which basically means you drop either AR or you drop ER or IR, and you get one of two endings. You either get ando, or your ending will be yendo, depending on what kind of verb it is. So simply by using this formula, you'll be able to say things like, and many more. Let's review some of the examples you just saw. They all had estoy, or some version of estar. In that case, they all had estoy. One of them had comiendo, I am eating. Now, where did they get this from? This verb, comer. All you do is drop your ER, and then add your ending, I-E-N-D-O. That's where you get comiendo. It's not present progressive unless it has estar, some form of estar, either estoy, estás, está, estamos, or están, depending on the subject. This is highly important to make the present progressive. In the example where I was reading, you saw estoy leyendo. Now this doesn't look exactly like any of the endings that we went over, but it is. Here's why. This is the verb leer, to read. All you do is drop your ER ending, and what follows? E-I-N-D-O. But Spanish isn't like an unstressed I between two vowels. That looks really funky. So they're going to change that I to a Y, leyendo. The same can be done with the verb traer. How would you say it? I am bringing something right now. Well, it's an ER verb. You drop your ER ending. T-R-A-I-E-N-D-O. Once again, Spanish doesn't like that I, the unstressed I between two vowels, so it's going to change into a Y. Trayendo. The same can be done with the verb oír, to hear. Okay, how about the verb to have lunch? Almorzar. It's an AR stem changing verb. But here's the great thing. That doesn't matter. You need estoy. Let's say your mom calls you and you're in the middle of having lunch. So you answer, she's like, what are you doing? And you say, I'm having lunch right now. Estoy, you drop your AR. Almorzando. That's it. AR and ER stem changing verbs, nothing weird going on with them with the present progressive, so that's one thing off your chest. But of course, what about the infamous IR stem changing verb? Let's look at the verb pedir, to ask for. It's an IR and a stem changing. What about we are asking for? Estamos. It's an IR. You drop your IR. Pidiendo. Except we're like 90% done. The reason why this isn't exactly right is because this E needs to change to an I. So make a note, with the present progressive, IR stem changing verbs have two changes that can happen. E to I or O to U. It does not matter that if there's a different change going on. I'll show you in a second with a different example. Estamos pidiendo. This E changed to an I. That's what we have to do. Let's look at a different verb. How about the verb to sleep, dormir? This is an IR stem changing verb also. It's O to UE, right? Well, yeah, but is that one of our options? No. We have to change this O to a U. So what about I'm sleeping? Estoy. This O needs to change to a U. Estoy durmiendo. What about the verb to serve? Servir, to serve. Once again, it's an IR verb, so you know it's going to end in iendo, I-E-N-D-O. It's also a stem changing verb. This is going to be E to I. So what about she is serving? Ella está E to I, right? Sirviendo. That's it for stem changing verbs. Now that we know about IR stem changing verbs in present progressive, we can now pretty much do any verb. So let's do some reflexive verbs. What's the verb to take a bath? Bañarse. It's reflexive. It's an AR. So what ending is it going to have? We're going to change this to ando. So how about I'm taking a bath right now? Estoy bañando. But we're not done just yet. We can't just forget about this se. First of all, who's the one taking a bath? I am. So it's not going to be se anymore. Instead, it's going to be me. Now, where are we going to put this? Take note, this is very important. You're about to learn 2 placement rules that follow you throughout the rest of your Spanish career. You can either put that me before a conjugated verb, before estoy, here's your conjugated verb. So you could say, me estoy bañando. Or, your other placement option is attached to this ando, A-N-D-O. But when you attach a pronoun, your third vowel / syllable from the very end, that's where your accent's going to go. 1, 2, 3, over this A. Estoy bañándome. Of course, you're 100% correct to put the me right here in front of estoy and not have to deal with that accent stuff. So let's do another example. Okay, so it's really early in the morning and you're late for school. Your friend calls you and says, "Where are you? Get ready, get up." So you're saying, okay, you're already up, you're getting dressed. The verb to get dressed. Vestirse. What do we know about this verb? It's a reflexive verb, it's an IR verb, and it's a stem changing verb. So how about I'm getting dressed? Estoy. What do we know about IR stem changing verbs? There are 2 changes. E to I or O to U. This one's going to be E to I. Estoy vistiendo. You drop your IR and put your right ending. Vistiendo. Now, what do we change this se to? Who's the one getting dressed? I am. So it's no longer se, but me. Now, where are we going to put this me? As mentioned before, we can put it before the conjugated verb, estoy. Me estoy vistiendo. Or attached to ando or yendo. Let's attach it here. Now what happens when you add a pronoun? Your accent is where? Third from the back. So 1, 2, 3. It's going to be on the E of vistiéndome. What about the verb to fall asleep? Dormirse. It's reflexive. It's IR. It's stem changing also. What are 2 ways to change in the IR stem changing? E to I or O to U. Which one is this? O to U. So what about you're with your friends at your place and you realize that it's really late and you're like, oh man, we're all falling asleep right now. We are falling asleep. Nosotros estamos. Dormir becomes O to U, right? Durmiendo. Now, what reflexive pronoun will we be using? Not se, not me. We are the ones falling asleep. So is it me, te, se, nos, or se again? It's going to be nos, right? Because we're the ones doing it. Where are we going to put this nos? Our rules say before a conjugated verb, or nosotros nos estamos durmiendo. You don't have to worry about accents. We're falling asleep right now. Or, if you prefer, we can attach it to the end of this. N-O-S. Since we added a pronoun, our accent goes where? 1, 2, 3. The E. Durmiéndonos. Durmiéndonos. A lot of people prefer this way because it kind of relates more to English, but if you don't like accents or you're not a big fan of accents, then I would just stick it right before this conjugated verb, which is 100% correct. All right, you've completely finished present progressive. Good job. Thanks for watching.